Blog and Cookies. Thursday, January 16th, 2014. I do not understand non-believers. Non-believers in this blog post is referring to people who don't believe in God. I have watched hundreds of posts about God and faith and Jesus. It amazes me how angry and how upset and how argumentative non-believers get on God. They don't fight this hard about Buddha, Allah, or any other religious figure. Not even about Jack Frost or the Tooth Fairy. If I don't believe in something and you do, I just go my own way. You think Herbalife works and I don't? Great. I accept that because it's your decision. Oh, but not non-believers. They will fight you tooth and nail all night long to argue about God. They are mad that you even believe. This behavior baffles me. Why does God upset non-believers so? I've heard all the lines. Why would God punish people for eternity? That's not the God I want to worship. Why does God let good people hurt and bad people get away with stuff? Why doesn't God do any more miracles? Your God supports raping women in the Old Testament. Your God allowed slavery. I could go on all day. Here is what I can't understand. If you don't think he exists, then why waste time discussing it? You really don't care about saving me from wasting my time in church. You really aren't trying to convert me to believing nothing. So why the fight? What makes you rage so much that you go as far as curse God in your comments, like F *** God? How can you curse something on one hand when you don't believe it exists on the other? I believe some are angry because they can't understand. I believe some are angry because they don't like the idea of obeying him in any way. I believe that Waco Christians have made you upset. I believe some is from guilt. I also believe there is a small few in the world that truly don't believe. I can always tell who they are. They are the ones who don't fight or get mad when God is mentioned. They respect my decision to follow my Savior, and they believe to each his own. I wrote this because I want the ones who don't believe and engage against God to ask themselves, why do I get so upset about this? And if you figure it out, let me know. There is a huge majority of non-believers in the world who used to believe and don't anymore. They allowed another human to destroy their relationship with God, and for some reason, God gets blamed for that happening. I truly believe the Bible, and it has made me a better father, husband, and person for it. I believe Jesus died for me, and the last thing I would ever do is tell God that his son died for nothing. In fact, if Jack Jr. died to save this country and the American citizens said to me that he didn't, I believe I would want eternal damnation for those people too. All I am asking from non-believers in my life is to respect my sharing of faith on my social media. If you don't believe what I post, then just move on. You share tons of stuff I dislike, but I never say anything because I respect your social media page and right to post it. It's mine to do with what I want. So if you made it to the end of this blog, I hope you thought a little bit about faith and a little bit about your future. I respect whatever you decide to do and will never knock it. God bless. I really mean that too. Not just as a sign-off to this post, but that God may bless your life as much as he has mine. Hey everyone. So, I don't usually do ad-lib stuff at the ends of my videos, and I probably won't do a whole lot more of it, because I'm kind of a mess if I don't have a script to read from. But, given how strongly I felt about this blog post in particular, I figured I should try and speak from the heart on it. Jack, I don't think that your big problem here is that you do not understand non-believers. I think your big problem here is that you refuse to understand non-believers. You take a very angry and accusatory tone during this blog post. You say things like, I don't understand why they don't fight this hard about Buddha and Allah and the Tooth Fairy. And well, the reason for that, Jack, is that most atheists that you're going to meet as an English speaking Westerner, most of those atheists were probably raised Christian. And that is the culture that they are the most familiar with. Those are the stories that they grew up listening to. Those are the holidays that they observed. Those are the religious figures that they followed. And coming out of that, Christianity is going to be the context through which they frame their non-belief. You're not going to have a Christian basically fall out of faith because they realized Allah wasn't real. They already didn't believe he was real, more likely than not. So, I just don't understand how that's so hard for you to grasp. You frequently mistake atheism and anti-theism. Atheism is basically having no belief in God, and anti-theism is having belief in God, but in a sort of malicious and hateful way. You hate God. Um, and, let's just be honest here. A lot of atheists are not anti-theists. They just don't believe that God is a thing. Those are two very different concepts. And I know why you're conflating them. It's because you need atheists to be your enemy. And I believe that if you were approaching this from a reasonable Christian perspective, where you're trying to proselytize to these people and trying to win them over to Jesus, you should not be perceiving these people as your enemy. But given your just general, very spiteful behavior towards anyone and anything that wrongs or inconveniences or confuses you even slightly, I can kind of see why you would portray these people as your enemy. Now, you list a bunch of questions that people ask of believers. Why would God punish people for all eternity? Why does God let the good suffer? Why doesn't God perform miracles? Well, Jack, it's your job as a Christian to effectively be Jesus's lawyer. And I don't mean that in like a mocking way. That is how, that's how apologetics works. You have to understand what the explanation for all these things are. If you don't understand it, then it's your job to point these people in the direction of resources that will help them understand, not to just bash these people and call them God haters and all this other stuff. Like, all you're doing when you treat these people like this is you're pushing them further and further away. You make the briefest mention of people no longer being believers because of bad experiences they may have had in the church. And that, that really just feels like a covering your ass statement, because what your real mission was in this blog post was to hurt people. Your real mission was to make these people feel bad for their convictions. And all the while, you're whining about how other people are making you feel bad about your own convictions. It's this sort of hypocrisy and this sort of ignorance of other people's situations that will push people away from wanting to follow you, and by extension follow the church and follow God and Jesus Christ. I, for one, if I were just walking down the street and I had someone approach me in the way that you approach non-believers in this blog post, I would not go to that person's church. I would be upset. And it wouldn't be because they hit me with some kind of Christian truth bomb. It would be because they offended me, because they made me look like some kind of evil, hateful monster. You know, Jack, I'm going to sort of summon all the sympathy I have left in my heart for you, and it's not much, but I'm going to try, okay? Just like how Jonah did not want to preach to the Ninevites, but God made him do it anyways. So too am I going to give you this message, even though I really don't want to, because it's the right thing to do to at least try. You do not have much time left on this earth. You know this. Your health is failing. You know this. If there is anything that you want to have done while you're still on this earth, you need to hustle. You need to get it done soon. And if you do plan on ministering to other people, whether that's directly through proselytizing or just by being a good example of a Christian, by being kind, by being virtuous, by being selfless, you need to get to it. Because the time is fast approaching when you will not be able to do it anymore. I know that there's an incredibly minuscule chance that you're hearing this, and an even tinier chance that you'll actually heed these words. But that's my piece. I hope that everyone listening to this is having a great day. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everyone watching these videos. Um, it's pretty wild getting the little notification saying so-and-so subscribed, so-and-so liked the video, so-and-so commented. I'm really not used to this much engagement, but I'm happy that, people are engaging with it, because it's pretty neat. So all of you take care. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome August. See you later.